up, everybody, and welcome back to the Three-Sided Box podcast. Today, we are going to continue the discussion from yesterday regarding the NHL Playoffs Round 2 predictions. For those of you who haven't checked out the video, go check it out, Three-Sided Box YouTube channel, where we do Round 2 predictions for the NHL Playoffs, just like I just said. And now we're going to dive a little bit deeper. Those videos, for those of you who don't normally watch our channel, is just strictly for predicting. We do a little bit of analysis, but here we're really going to dive deep, give you guys about a good hour, 45 minutes to an hour worth of our insight into what we think is going to happen. And my guest today is my brother Michael.
What's up?
And that's about it, because everybody else bailed. So Eric, fuck you. Johnny, good, keep doing what you gotta do for work. No issues. Adam will do what you gotta do for work. But Eric, go fuck yourself. Yeah. All right. So let's start off with the first matchup. I'll let you shoot it off since it's yours.
Well, we got my Preds heading into St. Louis to play the Blues. Two teams I said that would come out, not in the ways they did, but especially Nashville. But they're playing nonetheless. I look forward to this series. Should be much different than the Preds Hawks. Much more physical series. So I look forward to the matchup.
Well, I will say this. We might as well review, since there's not as many people here. We have a little bit extra time to review the Hawks Preds series, and how I am in complete shock that they got swept. And it's not discrediting you. It just shows. It's, if anything, it's even more credit to you because of how well they played, and to how hard this was for the Hawks, especially their fans, have to swallow it. That they got fucking swept basically by a team they've had their number for the last 5 years or so.
And this year, they've had our number this year as well. When I was watching them in the regular season, whenever we played them, they just always seemed to get a bounce here and there, where we always didn't get a bounce. So I'm glad, our team showed up. Our team played well. They basically had no chance, honestly. Like, I'm not trying to act arrogant. They didn't really have a chance to win any game. I mean, besides Game 3 and maybe Game 1 a little bit, every other game. We basically outplayed them every other game. They didn't have a chance.
Yeah, it was very shocking, very surprising that you guys shut them out the first two games.
They had 3 goals scored the whole series.
That's crazy.
1 was even strength.
That's
2 were power plays, and 1 was in the final 3 minutes of Game 4.
That's ridiculous.
It's
almost unheard of.
You can say what you want, but straight up, they got stomped. We were the better team. That's it. I feel like we were a deeper team, but I felt like going into the series, I'm like, oh, how are we gonna handle their star power? They're pretty top heavy, but they have a lot of star power, especially on that Anisimov, Pinar, and Kane line. And our defense was up to the challenge. We just straight up shut them down.
I think it was more Rene. They had their shots. They
had their shots, but everything was brought to the outside. We limited their chance. We know when you play the Blackhawks.
You guys played well. You guys played well.
Completely shut them down.
But let's just address. I guess you want to call it the elephant in the room. They're not done. This is not a team that needs because a lot of analysts, whatever the hell the fucking term, analysts. Sorry, I've been studying all day. My brain's fried. A lot of them are saying that maybe it's time for them to rebuild, and they're getting older and blah blah blah. It's like, dude, no, they've played the most hockey out of any team over the last 5 years, period. Yeah. They're tired, they're worn out, and considering all the pieces they keep losing every year due to the salary cap, and the fact that they're still the top team in the West, at the end of the season almost every year. Props to them, and now with a long summer, they could heal up, they could relax, refocus, retool, and head back in.
The big problem with them right now, and I'm not saying they need to rebuild or anything like that. I think it's just more of a little retooling. But the problem with them right now is that those contracts are now starting to be a huge issue, to the point where they might probably gonna have to let Kruger walk, and guys like that, and their depth. The reason why they lost the series is because they couldn't roll 4 lines on consistently like we could. and they just didn't have that salary cap room to have their Shaw, Vermets, all those guys who they're able to get. Before they didn't have that depth. They're very top heavy, and whenever you shut down their top heavy lines, you need your depth to produce. So it's going to be a big issue for them. Are they going to be done? No, not even close. But when you have that core intact, but like I said, their core is still aging. Keith is in his 30s. Seabrook, I think, is in his 30s. Oduya, I think he might. I don't think he was a rental, so I think he's still going to be with them. But he played like shit, and he's clearly old. Brian Campbell didn't play very well. There's a lot of issues with them, but they're still going to be around.
Look, I think we could say though they're going to be good next year. They're going to be back, and they're still going to be a top contender for the cup. But let's move on to the next series, your series, Nashville Blues. The Predators came off, like we said, strong. The Blues, strong as well, but they also played a much less talented team in the Minnesota Wild and a much colder team, where they got, 4 wins out of the last 15 in the regular season or something crazy like that.
I think they won 3 games in March.
Whatever it was something ridiculous. The Wild went super cold.
And I knew going into this series the Blues were going to win this. I knew it. I'm like, there's no way they're going to lose. Going to the playoffs and you're cold, you're screwed. There's no way.
Well, my prediction was Preds in 5. Johnny had Preds losing in 6 of the Blues because he loves to disrespect the teams that we cheer for. But you didn't get to predict because of our rule on the show, but here there is no rule. Even though you don't have to give a prediction, but give an analysis of your thoughts on your own series.
Look, the one thing I'm worried about is we came off beating our arch rival in a sweep. I'm scared that that we're gonna be like a bit arrogant. We beat the Hawks. We're playing the Blues. We're gonna maybe overlook them. That's what. And I don't want to overlook the Blues. I want to take them seriously. They're a very good team. I don't think they're nearly as talented offensively, but they're better defensively than the Blackhawks are. And Jake Allen is playing as good as anybody right now. So we have to score early to win the series. If we could steal one in St. Louis, we have a very good chance of winning the series. And we just need to just score first. Make them play behind, because when St. Louis is playing behind, they're a completely different team. When they're playing with the lead, it's almost impossible to beat them. But when they're playing behind, it's completely different.
I honest to God think if Nashville sticks to their same game plan they faced Chicago with, they could easily beat them. It might even be another sweep.
I don't know.
I think in 5,
you can't play the heavy trap with the Blues because they want to dump and chase. The Blackhawks wanted to play a possession speed game into the neutral zone.
I don't mean the same game plan in like the exact execution. I just mean like, play to their weaknesses. That's what I mean.
Yeah, of course.
Obviously every team's gonna do that, but Nashville executed it perfectly versus the Hawks. Where if they could do it again versus an inferior Blues compared to the Hawks, I don't think they're gonna have any issue. And if Rene could keep up his crazy play, they should be more than good to handle him.
Yeah, so I guess to give a prediction, I'm gonna pick the Preds to win in 6. But it's not disrespect to the Blues. I definitely think this could go 7. I definitely think they could even win the series.
6 is not disrespect at all. That's an average.
No, but it was the same thing with my team. Everybody was predicting the Hawks to win in 5 and whatever. So I mean,
5 is bigger than is disrespect.
No, I know, but I'm just saying I feel some whatever viewers or Blues fans. Like I said, I'm not trying to say disrespect. I take your team seriously, but I just think that right now we're one of the hottest teams in the league. Where we could roll 4 lines, everybody could score. Colin Wilson was banged up; he didn't even play in the first round. He's coming back. I mean, I know you guys maybe not care, but he's a pretty big playoff performer. I mean, Rene's on fire. Our defense is, in my opinion, the best in the league, top to bottom, and we have great coaching. So I really don't see any flaws in our team that could be exploited to a certain extent. So I predicted my team to go and win the cup, biasly. Full bias, but regardless, I got them in 6.
Well, we could be easily passing over what the Blues did to the Wild. Maybe they really did just outclass them. Maybe they both turned it on, but that's the beauty of the second round. You get to really... the first round is to weed out the non-contenders. The second round is to weed out the guys who got through by luck or because the team was cold. So this is I find is where the playoffs really begin. This is where the true guys come to play.
Yeah.
So... All right, so that's our analysis of that matchup. Let's move on to the second Western Conference matchup. We got the Anaheim Ducks and the Edmonton Oilers. The Ducks are another team that swept. They swept the Flames in the first round. And the Oilers put up a really good fight against the, what do you call them?
Sure.
Yeah, I know, but the runner-ups to the Stanley Cup last year. But a very, very short summer. It was surprising. They took me completely by surprise. I predicted the Sharks to win in, I believe 6 or 5 or something like that. Edmonton really proved me wrong. They lost big 7-0 in Game 3. Who would have thought
No,
that?
that was Game 4.
Okay, whatever it was, who cares? They lost big, and they came back and they won 2 straight games and they took the series. So, props to them. They did a really good job. Mind you, a very banged up Sharks team, but a win's a win. You move on. It's playoff experience nonetheless.
Regardless of the injuries, they still deserve the series.
Yeah, exactly. So, I'm predicting the Ducks to win in 7. I believe that every game the Ducks win is going to be about a 2 or 3 goal lead. Every game the Oilers win, is going to be a close 1 goal game, maybe overtime. I think the Ducks are going to outclass them, but the Oilers are really going to keep it close. There's just something about the Oilers that I just don't buy into them. Even though they did impress me, I'm still not convinced that this is where they belong. Are they better than teams like the Flames, like the Blue Jackets, like the Blues, like the Wild? Yeah, I guess you could say they are, but they're not. I don't know. I'm very torn with the Oilers right now because I feel like, considering how bad they were, like, yes, one player could make that kind of a difference, but how long is this going to last when teams start to figure out what McDavid's strengths are and there's still no pieces around them to really elevate his game as well, instead of him just constantly elevating other people? Look at Pittsburgh. Yeah, they have Crosby, but they also have Malkin. They also have, say what you want about Letang, but when he's on, he's pretty good. So they have guys that could take the heat off of Crosby, whereas the Oilers not so much.
I don't know. I think you're a bit underestimated. I think guys like Draisaitl, I think guys like Lucic, I think guys like even Nugent Hopkins who's playing in more like a shutdown role. Guys like Eberle was part of that shutdown role line. Clefbaum stepping up. I think that I understand what you're saying, where they have like less of a less depth, and yes, McDavid's carrying them, but I mean those guys are stepping up too. It's not like it's a one-man show in the playoffs. I mean, McDavid's been playing really well, but their team's also playing really well, as well. So I don't know. I think it's gonna be a really tight series. I still got the Ducks in 7, just because I think that they have the experience that the Oilers lack. I think this is more of like a learning curve for the Oilers, which is a really good learning curve first year, to be honest. But I think they're just gonna fall short a little bit. I think home ice is gonna play a big advantage for the Ducks. I think if the Oilers had home ice, I might have picked them to win the series, but with the Ducks having home ice, it's nearly impossible to beat them in the Honda Center. And honestly, I mean, I respect the Ducks, but like I was watching the series and they got a lot of puck luck. I mean, a lot of puck luck.
Yeah.
So a team with puck luck, a team that's very skilled as they are, a team that's underrated as they are right now, they could spell a lot of doom for many teams. So I mean, I just got the Ducks winning in 7. Unfortunately, I think the Oilers are just going to come out a bit short. I think next year is really going to be their coming out party. But I'm hoping for a good series, and I think this is one series I'm looking forward to the most in the second round, minus my own, of course.
Yeah, this one should be interesting. I feel like the Ducks' confidence is just enough to like overpass, whatever doubts they may have. I think the whole McDavid factor in trying to counter his fear, speed, and whatnot. I think they got it. I really do. I think they should be fine. I'm not worried about the Ducks whatsoever. I'm very. They were a low key, very good second half team.
They are. They were, but I don't know. Just like I could definitely see the Oilers taking this. I don't know why. Just like I feel like they're just a hot team. they're having confidence. They're just going with the flow, man, and like that's a very dangerous factor. And they beat out a very good San Jose team, so you never know. But like I said, I'm sticking with the Ducks, but I'm really rooting for an Oilers win. I'm hoping for a good series, and I'm hoping for an Oilers win.
I don't know if I'm see that's where I'm torn. We're Canadian, and we're just gonna say this. I might have said this in the last podcast and probably many other videos, but there's this thing in Canada for if you gotta cheer for the last Canadian team, and you gotta want the cup to come back to Canada. And yes, I do technically cheer for a Canadian team in the Ottawa Senators, but that is pure coincidence. That has nothing to do. I didn't choose them because they were Canadian and they were the closest team to Montreal. I just chose them because I chose them, and I don't give a shit if you're Canadian or not. So that whole notion of where you gotta cheer for that Canadian team is stupid, and whoever goes by that rule is completely like sick in the head and doesn't understand what like real
rivalry is.
Yeah, it's not even rivalry. Ottawa doesn't have a rivalry with Edmonton, Calgary, Vancouver, or Winnipeg, but I don't like any of them. I feel nothing towards them. It's not like, I got it. Like, if you're telling me Toronto is in the Stanley Cup final, the whole city of Montreal is going to cheer for them, absolutely not. Vice versa, Toronto for Montreal. Who gives a shit if it's Canadians? Because people haven't been put in that scenario where it's been the Flames, the Oilers, and the Senators, the last three Canadian teams to go to the final, where they're like neutral teams to most other big Canadian cities, where they don't feel the need to hate them and like not want the cup to be won by them. Whereas if the big ones like the Canadians and the Leafs were to go there, I guarantee you most of the country will not be united in that stance where they have to cheer for them. So for me, even though this is kind of like out there and nothing really to do with what we're talking about, but I don't feel the need to cheer for the Oilers. I don't care for the Ducks either. But there's just something that I don't know. I don't feel like I want them to get over this hump. I don't know what it is. It's just I feel like they did what they need to do. Time to go home, and next year we'll see what happens, sort of thing.
No. I feel I could relate to the Oilers fans' pain of 10 years of garbage because I'm a Raider fan. Well, a little bit more, but regardless, I could feel a little bit, and like I really want those fans to like have something to cheer for, like and actually feel like their team is really heading in, the cup is realistic in the next 5-10 years, whatever it is. I want them to experience that.
Okay, but let's
the
go
Ducks
into
have had
depth
their
into
time.
analysis, like the actual the matchups. Okay, so we have Perry and Getzlav and Kessler versus the Oilers. Like who's gonna come up?
Obviously, Kessler's going to be matched up with McDavid because he's in their shutdown role. It's Silverberg, Cogliano, and Kessler as their shutdown line. I know they're a bit banged up on defense. I don't know if Cam Fowler's still back. I don't know if Sammy Vatanin's back or Lindholm. I know he got injured in game 4, but I don't know if he's gonna. Anyways, I don't know how their injury thing is gonna play out, but I just know that they're gonna be matched up with the McDavid line, and I think Lucic, Nugent Hopkins, and Eberle is gonna be matched up with Perry, Raquel, and I think Getzlaf's on that line, or Eves. I'm not sure, but I know the main. Those are gonna be the two main matchups, and to me, whoever wins like one of those matchups is gonna win, the series. If you could shut down the Ducks' top pairing, it's gonna be huge for
I just think every goal Edmonton scores, the Ducks will score 2-3 more.
I don't know.
I think Cam Talbot is not good enough, and I think their defense is definitely not good enough. The Ducks could contain McDavid.
Yeah, but I believe
maybe not stop him, but they could contain him.
No.
Yes, and I think, especially in the playoffs, they know how to turn it on, and I think the Ducks could definitely outclass their defense and goaltending of the Oilers.
Yeah, but I can say the same thing for the Oilers. I don't think that John Gibson is anything special. I think he's
but
really,
as a team,
he hasn't been playing very well, and he played a Flames team that has basically no chance against the Ducks team, considering that they haven't won in Anaheim in like 11 years. So to me, I think the Oilers have a better chance than anybody to knock off the Ducks. To me, it's just more experience that's going to pay off for the Ducks. And I think last year, because they got eliminated in the first round, they're going to be more hungry to prove people wrong. But like I said, to me, this is one of the series I'm gonna look forward to the most, minus my own. Like I said, I think it could go either way. I really hope for a good series. That's all.
I don't. I really don't think so. I think the Ducks are gonna take it. It's, like I said, it's gonna be close, but if you watch the games, it won't be. That's how I think. Like it like the score will not really project how close these games are gonna be. That's just my prediction, just my opinion. I really think the Oilers, like the 3 games they're gonna win in my prediction in 7 is it's gonna be like a 2-1, 3-2, 4-3 game that the Oilers are gonna win, and then the Ducks are gonna win like 5-2, 6-3, 3-0. I think they're gonna win those type of games. 4-1. Those are the games the Ducks are gonna win, and they're gonna give up the close games
to me,
the Oilers.
It's really important for if you're gonna win the series against the Ducks is to take one in Anaheim. To take at least one in Anaheim.
But they were low key extremely good, and I think they went on a 25-game win streak at home, and they're obviously on a win streak now in the playoffs at home. So,
it's gonna be tough.
They're the best home team in the NHL right now.
Yeah, them and Nashville for sure, the 2 best. But like I said, it could go either way. I'm just hoping for a good series. I'm just like I said, I would love for Edmonton to move on, but if it doesn't happen, it doesn't happen.
I was hoping they'd move on from the first round, but I really don't care if they move on to the conference finals. All right, let's skip to the West. The East. Sorry, excuse me, the East. My series, the Ottawa Senators and the New York Rangers. I wasn't allowed to predict. Johnny predicted the Rangers in 5 because he's extremely disrespectful to our teams. You predicted the Senators in 6, potentially 7, but you gave a solid 6. I don't know necessarily if I'm going to predict how many games they're going to win, and I don't know. But I definitely do see Ottawa very capable of winning this series. The Rangers are a very physical and tough team.
Which doesn't spell good for Carlson's
hey, but you know what?
Fractured foot.
Yeah, well, Carlson's also very good at avoiding hits. That's why he's
true.
been very healthy for most of his career. And one thing that I will say, Dion Phaneuf has been playing phenomenally throughout the playoffs for us, and he's taken a lot of the heat off of Carlson. Even though they don't play together on the same line, Phaneuf just attracts the defenders away, the attackers away from Carlson by being a force to be reckoned with, by taking some big ice time. Him and Ceci, that defensive pairing have faced a lot in the first series with the Bergerons and the Marchands and the Pasternaks. So I really, Carlson's I think he's gonna have a little more open space than people think he is, just because the Rangers are a little bit more of a physical team. It's not like Boston's is a sissy team either. Those guys are rough and tough just as much as the Rangers. They're not as openly physical and up into the forecheck as maybe the Rangers are, but it's not like we're playing I don't know, like the Wild or something where it's, or the Hawks, where it's more of a possession team than a grindy gritty pushing type of team. So I think Carlson's gonna have a lot more space than people think he has. Other analysis that have been said about the series. We are going to be tested. Lundqvist is coming off his best stretch of games all year, I believe, which I easily predicted. The guy's one of the best goalies. He still has tons left in the tank. The guy's good 2-3 years left before you're really going to see any major slips in his game. Anderson has been playing rock solid for us. I believe he's 7-0 in Madison Square Garden the last 2 years, 7-1 or something like that, or maybe even all time. I don't know.
It's pretty good.
He's what the guy's been through and how well he's playing for us. The guy's rock solid. We have Mike Hoffman who after game 1 finally decided to open his fucking head up and play some hockey. Mark Stone finally decided to play some hockey. Clark MacArthur coming in the clutch when we need him. Heart and soul type guy. Bob. I was gonna get to Bobby fucking Ryan. Who would have thought this guy would be playing this way? And his goals are ugly, but he's been playing well. And I said this in game 1, okay, before he scored his goal, that he was playing really well. The guy is he's physical. He's getting in their face. He's not just like lightly skating on the ice, just barely fucking moving. The guy's pushing the puck. He's pushing the guys around. He's getting open. He's making plays. And if he wasn't scoring these goals, I'd still be saying he's playing really well because he. And maybe I'm just comparing him to what he's been playing like for the last couple of years in Ottawa. But regardless, he's still playing way better than he was. And he's proving big when we need him. He has 2 game-winning goals already, and I have nothing but love for what he's doing right now. I can't talk shit about him as much as he still has his moments. Don't get me wrong, where you see him flopping on the ice or he's grinning his teeth because he's hurt on the bench over something stupid. He's proving big when we need him. And then you have the big guy, Erik Karlsson, the King Karlsson, who's playing on 2 hairline fractures on his ankle, and playing like a god. He's literally, I mean, whoever didn't see that Karlsson passed to Hoffman in Game 3, Jesus Christ. I mean, if that was not the most beautiful pass over maybe the last 5 years, I don't know what is. Maybe even more. Okay, and the fact that fucking idiot Radulov got more attention for that stupid goal he scored in Game 2 or 3 of his series, and Karlsson got nothing, and Hoffman got nothing in comparison, is a fucking joke and just shows the bullshit that we deal with in this fucking country, and especially in the city of Montreal, where their heads are shoved so far up the asses of the Canadians that they don't see fucking anything but their own shit. Alright? So, my point being is that Ottawa is a better team than people give us credit for. The Rangers are going to put up a huge test, but we've had going into the playoffs, I might have said this in our mid-season review, which was more like an end-of-the-season review, that Ottawa had a way better record against the Metropolitan this year than we did against our own division. So, if it wasn't Boston first round, I wanted the Rangers.
Yeah.
So, this is another really good matchup for us.
Well, I mean, the Preds were 1-4 against the Blackhawks in the regular season, and then we swept them.
I'm not saying it means anything. I'm just saying it's good motivation to go into with, and it's we have proven wins against them this year with the same roster. And I forgot to mention Derek Brassard, who has like 8 points so far in the playoffs too. This guy literally has played like complete shit this year. All right. Did nothing for the most part of the season. I think he had like 13 or 14 goals all year, just like Bobby Ryan, garbage. But Guy Boucher never gave up on him. He kept putting him back out there, and it's paying off. And yeah, he did royally fuck up. And was it Game 1?
I don't know.
Or is it not Game 2 when we came back? No, I can't remember.
I don't know.
I was such an emotional wreck for about fucking like 2 weeks straight that I don't remember what happened and when. When he called Anderson to pass the puck back and Anderson scored in his own.
That was Game 2.
It
was because you guys, it was 1-0 for Boston, got the first goal. Then you guys tied it. I remember you guys had a decent amount of momentum. You were on the power play, and then and then he gave and then he was calling for the pass to Anderson, and then Moore intercepted it, cut in front, hit Anderson. And I don't know who it was. Some guys on Boston scored, and it was 2-1 after.
And then he scored right away, right after. Karlsson made a crazy move off the power play.
Then it was 3-1, and then you guys tied.
Whatever, yeah. And then we came back, and Brassard again playing like shit. But you're putting up points. You're helping us win. We won in 6 games. I can't ask for more. I could, but you gotta do what you gotta do, and in the end we're winning. So that's what's important. Cody Ceci playing not bad the last Game 6. He was one of our best players. We're a little bit injured on the 4th line in our last defensive pairing. Mark Borviesky's out. Stahlberg was a game time decision for Game 6. Chris Kelly walked off into the locker room at one point during Game 5. Chris Weidman's been a bit of a liability at times during the series. We scratched him Game 6. We got Colin White and Chris Neal as scratches, always waiting to jump into the lineup. Tommy Wingle's in and out of the lineup. So we're not as good as I want us to be at this point, but I definitely feel like we're more than capable of being the Rangers. And you know what? If I had to predict an amount of games, I'm gonna say Senators in 6. If I had to. Kyle Turris, man, when that guy scores, man, he gets on, he's on. So we got a good thing going on with him. Pajot, solid shutdown third liner. Clarkey, like I said before, man, what a story to come back, score 2 huge goals for us. I mean, I don't even know what else to say. Stone finally, breaking that scoring drought. Hoffman finally opening it up. I already said all this shit. And it's a rematch. Zibanejad coming back to Ottawa. Brassard going back to New York.
I don't really think that's a story, though.
It's not. But you know why? Because they've both done shit all year. They've both done absolutely nothing.
They both stepped up in the playoffs, so...
They did, yeah. I have nothing but love for Mika, and I have nothing for love for Derek right now. But
I'll be honest. If I'm looking at the series and like I knew that Guy Boucher wasn't your coach, and that every first year he goes to the conference final, I probably would have picked the Rangers because I just think that they're a little bit.
So you're
deeper.
picking us on superstition rather than actual skill.
Yeah.
Wow. All right. Well, that's why I went on a little bit of a rant a couple minutes ago because. That is disrespectful, and we really played well against the Bruins. Yes, they were battered and bruised, and I know they weren't 100% healthy. And
I just said that the Rangers, I think, are a bit deeper. That's all I said.
They are a bit deeper, but Ottawa, we're very underrated. We're not the pesky Sens anymore because we're a good underrated. We're not a shitty underrated like we used to be. We're not that team that would surprise you. No, we're good.
To me,
and we're a couple pieces away from being really good.
The Bruins are just such a slow team. Like I need to see it against like a decent team. Like I'm not trying to I like Ottawa. I like what they're doing. Obviously, Carlson's playing very well. I picked them to go to the conference final. I didn't only pick them to go there because of superstition. I'm just saying that I just think the Rangers are deeper, and with Lundqvist playing at this level. If you guys can score early on him, it's hard.
I think
it's gonna be difficult.
I honest to God think I'm not saying scoring is gonna be easy, but I don't think it's gonna be an issue. It's gonna be a low scoring series. It's gonna be a lot of 2-1s, a lot of 1-0.
You guys have home ice, right?
Yes, we do.
Okay, I think I changed my pick to 7 because I think Lundqvist is a ridiculous record at MSG when facing elimination. So I think I'm gonna change it to 7 because I thought that they had home ice, but. I'm gonna change it to 7 for Ottawa.
Well, in our prediction video, that cannot be switched.
Yeah. Well, whatever.
That's where we're gonna go. That's the official word. Is 6. But I don't want to jinx anything. I don't really believe in that crap, anyways. But the Rangers are a very good team. They could easily beat us. They could easily beat us in 6. I do not say they cannot beat us. They're more than capable of doing it. I just feel like we got a bit more of an edge. We got a little more momentum. We played a lot closer of a battle than they did. And I feel like there's a lot more emotion now in Ottawa than there's in New York. New York won a grindy, gritty, ugly battle against Montreal, where Ottawa won an emotional battle against Boston.
I understand, but I feel like
look at the guys stepping up. Clarkey and Bobby. And Carlson. These guys are all injured and had bad seasons, yet they're stepping up.
But just listen.
The confidence is very high.
But just listen. Montreal was the favorite going. Everybody thought Montreal.
Because everyone's an idiot.
Okay, but regardless,
Montreal sucks.
Regardless, they were disrespected. Regardless, it doesn't matter if Montreal sucks. According to you, according to many people, they would have won the series. New York is not stupid. They see all these people fucking talking. Oh, New York's gonna lose. They don't have this. They don't have, and guess what? They fucking proved everybody wrong. They were the better team, and Lundqvist is playing lights out. I don't think it's. Like I said, I think Ottawa's gonna win, but is it gonna be? Is it only Ottawa that has a great story going on? No, New York has a great story too. I think it's gonna be an interesting series, and I think it could honestly, if I had to pick a series that could go either way, could go any team's way. This is the series, kind of like how I thought Edmonton San Jose could have went either way. So it's gonna be a good one. I think it's gonna be a good one. I just worry about Carlson. That's it, because if he gets one stupid thing happen to him and he's out for let's say even a period and he plays with an injury, it may cost you. It may cost you because he's so crucial. You have to protect him.
I don't think he's gonna be injured. I don't think they're gonna be able to do what people think they are. We already knew it was a right or left ankle injury. Everyone already knew that he was hurt in that area, so it wasn't like he wasn't targeted. Just because it's a fracture doesn't mean that people are going to specifically aim for a certain area. They already knew that area of his body was hurt.
No, I know. I'm just saying.
And I think this is gonna make Dion step up even more. I think he's gonna step up even further with this. He's gonna play even better than he has.
Again,
which is his first ever second round appearance, by the way.
To me, it's just that you guys need to go to another level, and I think you will. But you need to go on to another level, because having these 3-1 leads or whatever you have that's blown or whatever it is will not work.
But I think that's just the emotion. That was the emotion of the series. Every team that scored first, I think like 5 out of the 6 games didn't win. Yes, because other than Ottawa scoring first in a game where we won 1-0, every team lost their lead.
But that's what I'm saying.
But that's the emotion. That's the emotion of that series. I don't think it's gonna be like that in this one. I really don't think it's gonna be like that. Home ice advantage meant nothing in the first round. It meant that Ottawa lost game 1. They won game 2 in overtime. Then
Matters to Pittsburgh.
I meant in the Ottawa series.
Series. Yeah.
Obviously, home ice advantage mattered. I'm just saying in our series, not so much. And you have to understand, Guy Boucher is a very smart, tactical coach, and not to mention a class act, sir. Thank you for getting out of the car and shaking Senators fans' hands at the airport. I wish I could be there, but I live in this dump of a city where we cheer for and flip over cars because of playoff victories. But I digress. Anyways, so what I'm trying to say here is. The Habs suck. No, what I'm trying to say here is I think Ottawa has a very good chance of winning the series, and I think this is the next best matchup we could have asked for. I think Boston was the first best matchup. Am I saying Ottawa's winning the cup? Absolutely not. We have absolutely no chance beyond this round to win anything. Okay, but I think we could beat the Rangers. I really do think we could beat the Rangers, and not based on Guy Boucher's superstitions of going to the East Final every year. In his first year of coaching. All right, I truly do believe that Ottawa has what it takes to beat New York. New York can easily beat us as easily as we can beat them. I'm not discrediting the Rangers whatsoever. I have so much respect for that team. You have no idea. Minus Rick Nash. Everybody else on that team I absolutely love, but. I do think we got the edge. I think we got an emotional edge. I think we got a physical edge. And I think we also got a... if this series gets super hard and hitting, you know who's coming back into the lineup, right? You know Chris Neal is stepping back into the fucking lineup to take over. You know that. And that guy's playoff experience. All right? He's got 1,000 games underneath his belt.
It's not... Look, if you guys fall into a physical series, you're not going to win that series.
Anyway, we'll see what happens.
You need to make it skill and speed based.
But we're not losing in 5 like Johnny said. At least we're not. We're gonna push it a little bit further than that. Yeah. All right, so let's move on to the last matchup. We spent a little extra time on that one. We got the matchup, the critical matchup, the most hyped matchup, probably the one that's gonna get the most attention now that the Leafs are out of the playoffs. So too. Yeah, absolutely. Hopefully, it lives up to the hype because it hasn't last year. That was very disappointing.
Last year was amazing.
It was, but I don't know. Whatever. Anyways, I'm talking about the Capitals and the Penguins. And the reason why I said it wasn't that great is because we all really want the Capitals to just get over the hump. Nothing against the Penguins anymore. We all love them. If there's no more hate against them like there was maybe 10 years ago. But we just want... I don't even care if the Capitals win the cup. I just want them to move on from the second round. I just want them to get over the fucking hump. Just get over it. Move on. You know, if they move on and they meet the Senators in the conference final, then I want them to fucking lose big time. But you know, I really feel like if they could beat the Penguins, they could win the cup. But are they finally gonna beat the Penguins? Are they finally gonna get past the second round? That's the big one. Now, in the first round, they were extremely tested against the Leafs. Now, was that a credit to the Leafs for playing really hard? Would you give them? As much as I hate them, you got to give them credit. Or was it, again, the Capitals choking but just barely surviving that one because they couldn't swallow their fucking food?
I think 5 out of the 6 games went to overtime.
Yep.
I mean, to me, it's just that, like... As much as you give credit to the Leafs and they played a hard series and you definitely see like a good future in the players they have and whatever. To me, it's just that like when you look top to bottom, I mean, is there a team top line 1 to 4 on offense for forwards and 1 to 3 on defense and and then goaltending? Is there a team that's better? No. Let's be honest. There's not a team that's better. Talent-wise, skill, anything, speed,
yeah, on paper.
forwards.
paper means
it's
nothing.
unacceptable that these games even went to overtime or that the Leafs came back. And to me, it's just that, like, yes, you give credit to the Leafs, but what the hell, man? No matter what, even if the Leafs giving their all is nowhere near you guys even giving like 75%. Like, there's just
by you
something.
guys, you mean the Capitals?
Yeah, it's just, to me, it's just something, like one series that I can't, like, I was completely shocked. I was completely shocked it went this
Leafs
far.
fans are gonna say it's all because how good they played.
Well, I mean, who wouldn't? I mean, if your team brought the President's Trophy champs to the brink, but regardless,
Which they did play well. I
give
them credit.
it's just like Pittsburgh. It just like they completely dismantled the Columbus team. Who I mean, I knew Pittsburgh was gonna move on, but I thought maybe in like 6.
You
I
know
thought
the
Columbus was
thing
gonna
is,
win, maybe a couple games, and whatever.
The thing is with me is that I don't know, okay, maybe it's not how I feel, but it's how I see it. Whereas the Leafs, I think they played really well, and they pushed the Capitals to their, not to their limits, but they surprised the Capitals. So I don't think the Capitals were on the brink of choking and barely survived. So I think against Pittsburgh, they'll be fine. I don't think they were necessarily like, I don't think they're going to get swept or lose in 5. I think they're going to lose in 6. I picked Pittsburgh in 6. But that's mostly because of experience and Pittsburgh, wanting to win another one. But I don't know. I feel like the Capitals, if they're gonna lose, it's not gonna be because they're gonna choke. I think it's gonna be, it's gonna look that way, but it's gonna be very close games.
Yeah,
very close
it always
games.
is. But even Pittsburgh, they're one of the best teams in the league. I think they have a great chance to repeat, which is unheard of in today's NHL. But regardless, it's just that, like, even Pittsburgh, if you look top to bottom, they're not better than the Capitals. They're just not. They're not better goaltending.
No, absolutely.
They don't have. I mean, they have more speed. They have still amazing depth, but they're not better than the Capitals. Like, to me, it's just that, like,
Yeah, but paper
they
means
just
nothing.
play. But that's what I'm trying to say, is that the paper should mean something, because the Capitals are better. They're just better than every team in the league. They just are. They should win the cup. But to me, it's just that, like, Pittsburgh steps up in the playoffs. They don't feel the pressure, and when they do, they elevate their game to overcome their problems. If Pittsburgh wins one game on the road, it's over. This series is done in 6. The Capitals need to take care of home ice. If they screw up and they let Pittsburgh steal one in Washington, they're screwed. It's over. But like I said, I would love this series to go the distance.
I think Barry Trotz really needs to rally the troops this time.
But you need to not think it's just another series. This is your arch rival, the team that stole a cup twice from you. Like, basically, I mean, and you haven't been past the second round. And you just need to step up. You need to produce when it matters most. When it's in those overtimes, you just have to back check. Strong. You have to put that extra effort. I know there's some players that do, like Justin Williams. That guy doesn't feel fucking anything. That guy is probably the only one on the Capitals I trust to do anything. I like Oshie. I like, all these guys. But, like, you just need to step up. You just need to just step up. That's it. And, like, I just don't see it happening. I got Pittsburgh in 6. I'm really hoping for a Washington upset. I really want, them to succeed. But I just don't see it happening. Pittsburgh is just taking care of business like it's another day at the office. And Washington is just, like, being pushed and pushed and pushed, and like I think just the pressure is just getting to them. They don't have a mentally strong group of individuals, or a team at least.
I think they just lack too much on their skill. They don't lack. They trust too much in their skill. Where they're just like, you know what? Okay, we're losing 2-0 in the series, or 3-1 in the game, and they're like, we'll score eventually. Like, they just think it's gonna come because of how good they are,
But
rather than them thinking, like, no, we need this now, so let's make this the best fucking shift of the series.
Exactly.
And let's kill them.
But
they don't have no killer instinct, just like the way Ottawa did it for most of the first round.
exactly. So you need that killer instinct to get past. Like, to me, if you ask me, what would you rather have, a more talented team, or a more, like, clutch team, a more like a LA Kings team, or like a Washington Capitals? Like, obviously you're gonna pick an LA Kings team because
I'd say more like I want Chicago.
well, clearly not this year.
Yeah. Or not LA this year either, who didn't even make the fucking
Regardless,
playoffs, so.
anyways, point is that It's just that Washington is just, they don't have that killer instinct, man. They lack it. They don't have it. They have everything else. They just need that belief, man. They need to believe they could beat Pittsburgh. They need to, because if they don't, they're fucked. So I don't know. I'm gonna pick Pittsburgh in 6, but I'm really hoping for a Washington upset. Yeah. Well, I guess you could call it an upset.
I all I know is that I could, for some reason, I could picture this scenario in my head where Washington, goes up like 3-0 in the series, and then loses.
No,
they fucking lose. Imagine that.
If
they do that though, I will say this, or even if they're up 2-0 in the series and they lose in 6, if they go on any losing streak, all right, in the playoffs, I do believe it's time to fix that team and do something crazy.
I don't know, because it's really hard. It's hard because
that window's closing, man. They got another year or two max.
But the thing is with Washington is, what I could see is them winning the first game, Pittsburgh winning the second game in like overtime, them coming strong in game 3 in Pittsburgh and taking it to the Penguins, and then being arrogant and losing 3 straight and losing 4-2 series. That's what I see happening.
You know, maybe they're a modern day Ottawa Senators, like from 15 years ago, where they just couldn't get over the hump.
I don't know, man. Like to me, it's just like they're too talented not to even at least go to the Cup final. It's really sad. They're wasting the years of Ovechkin for absolutely nothing.
Yeah.
But like I said, to me, it's just Pittsburgh. They're going in with confidence. They're going in rested. They're going in, relatively unscathed. Whereas you have like a Washington team who's like they're playing scared, as if like they're just scared of losing. Like, they don't play to win, they play like not to lose, except for a couple of players like Justin Williams, who's like just scores like super clutch goals or is involved in super clutch goals. Like, they just need to step up. That's it. I need to see
pair him up with Ovechkin and just have them play together, because if Williams could literally give all the passes to Ovechkin Ovechkin won't miss the net if Williams could give the pass.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah. That maybe Barry Trotz should take a little fucking page out of that book, and because him too, man. That's why I said I think he needs to coach them up. He needs to do something other than we're gonna take this one more seriously, and it's a must win. Like, dude, every game's a must win in the playoffs.
You need to have that extra motivation to beat these teams. Like, I feel like the Preds had that extra motivation to take it to the Hawks. You need to take it to them from the second the puck is dropped.
You live and die by the edge of your sword.
Them. You don't stop. You are relentless in your approach, and that's what I loved about my series.
Live and die by the sword.
Exactly.
That's what you got to do, and the Caps play with a shield.
Exactly. So if you're gonna lose this series, you go down swinging.
Yeah.
You don't just fucking go like, oh, we lost again. You play with that fire. You play with that will to win.
Nothing. I would love if the Penguins won another cup. I have absolutely nothing wrong with that, but I really want Washington to move on, and if they do, I think they could easily win the cup.
Easily?
I think they could, because once you get over that hump, I feel like it's gonna be like a monkey off their back, and they're just gonna be like, okay, we did it. Let's just keep doing this. It's working.
Yeah,
and we beat the Stanley Cup champions, who always fucking kill us.
And exactly, yeah, and we got past second round. Like all this shit. Like, this could be a major milestone.
At least get to the final. If they could just get to the final and get a taste of what that's like, I think the next 2-3 years they could do it again.
For sure.
If they keep that core, which if they get past second round, they should not do anything to this team. It's just if they can't get it done this year, I think it's time to fix it. Eventually, if it's just the same shit happening over and over again and nothing's working, you gotta fix something. Second place or second round is not good enough. You got to fucking win. And like we said, time's ticking. Anyways, all right, so that's our analysis. Again, I picked Pittsburgh in 6. We all did. Me, Johnny, and Michael. We all did pick 6 games for Pittsburgh to win this, but hoping for Capitals W. Alright, guys, so that's it for the podcast. A bit shorter this time because it's only us two. Hopefully for the conference finals we'll have a full crew. Fuck you, Eric, again for not showing up. You are officially uninvited to all podcasts further in the future. So don't expect an invitation. You better just be here and when we're filming or recording. So that's as far as my invitations are going to go from now on. We got potentially something planned for the NFL draft coming up next week. Our exams for school are done officially next week, so we're gonna have a lot of free time. For those who are interested in any video game related stuff, my Power Rangers series will resume and will be concluded after I'm done my exams. I have a whole bunch of videos I'm gonna film for it. I'm gonna play Power Rangers Mega Battle on Xbox One, and I'm gonna be playing the original Sega Genesis movie game, Power Rangers the movie, that I've been dying to do a little series on. And then I'm thinking about live streaming in the summer, and just, we'll see from there. I got some plans I'm gonna do. And WrestleMania, it's WrestleMania season. It's always in May/June, and it usually comes out in July or August. Which, for those of you who don't know, we do little skits. We're big wrestling fans here at Three Sided Box, and we like to do little skits making fun of the stuff that goes on there. It's all in good fun, and last year we turned my trampoline into a wrestling ring, and we had a little fun with that. So go check that out, WrestleMania 1 and 2. They're a bit long, but they're funny. And this year we got something big planned for WrestleMania 3, so we'll see what happens with that. We're going to have our predictions for Champions League semifinals coming up within the next week or so. We're going to have... what else is coming up? We're going to have more NHL stuff, obviously. Like I said, hopefully something for the draft coming up. Might be a recorded visual podcast with our buddies at, what are they called? The Box Score.
The box, yeah,
the Box Score. They're a Montreal, Concordia University-based journalist program podcast. One of our buddies is in there. We're going to try and do something with him. If not, he's probably going to come on our show. So we'll see what happens. We're in talks. We're going to see. With exams and everything's a bit hard, but we got something coming up. I know I'm dragging on a little bit too long. I'm just trying to get everything out. What else is there that I wanted to mention? Nothing. That's it. Alright guys, so stay tuned for more podcasts. Go check out our prediction center. Like I said, if you just want strict predictions and no real analysis, go check out those videos. I'm not posting these on SoundCloud anymore just because of the sheer fact that there apparently is a limit to it. And I'm stupid, I didn't read it, I know, and I'm not paying for the premium, at least not yet. So if this gets big, I'll for sure pay for it. But until then, strictly YouTube, these are going on. So subscribe if you haven't, guys. Like the video. Check out the prediction video. Share your picks, your comments, your thoughts in the comments below. We love to talk to you guys. It's always fun. And share it with your friends, guys. We always appreciate the love. So thank you so much for listening. Stay tuned for more. Enjoy the playoffs, and we will see you all next time, guys. Enjoy the second round. Take care.
Peace.